Today's hearing, how the government is trying to take censorship to the next level by weaponizing artificial intelligence tools to limit speech in real time and at scale. AI, which can censor in real time and at scale, should scare us all. The pattern we've seen emerging is deeply troubling, but for the work of this committee, we'd have never known about all the censorship going on, and now we're concerned, obviously, about how artificial intelligence can use these tools, develop these tools to censor and restrict American speech.
You know what? One has the sense that all of this exercise is about projection. And the definition of projection is when an individual or individuals unconsciously or consciously project their thoughts, feelings, or behaviors onto someone else. When we talk about weaponization, like Ambassador Eisen said, we are concerned. But my friends on the other side of the aisle want to persuade the public that the weaponization to worry about is the one that doesn't exist. And hopefully you will not pay attention to the real threat Ambassador Eisen and others have in fact described. There's a monstrous effort going on as we speak to structure a second term for Donald J. Trump. And those proposals inter alia include replacing up to 50,000 federal employees with Trump loyalists, bypassing the civil service protection, and essentially gutting the Pendleton Act of 1883. Invocation of the Insurrection Act on day one to quash public protests against him. A suppression of speech 3 of the 4 witnesses today apparently aren't concerned about. Ambassador Eisen, let's go through a speed round if we can. You, if you can, tell me who said this. The American people deserve to know that President Trump has asked me to put him over my oath to the Constitution. Anyone who puts himself over the Constitution should never be President of the United States. Who said that?
Vice President Mike Pence.
And his party?
His party is the Republican Party.
Thank you. Here's another one. Very good. I think he's unfit for office. He puts himself before country. His actions are all about him and not about the country. Who said that? Okay.
Hold on, Mr. Connolly.
Hurry up.
Chairman Trump's Defense Secretary,
Excellent.
Mr. Esper.
You are good. You are good. Republican appointee, former Trump Secretary of Defense. All right, this one. A person that has nothing but contempt for our democratic institutions, our Constitution, and the rule of law. There's nothing more that can be said. God help us. Who said that?
That one is the former Chief of Staff, Kelly.
You are.
Mr. Kelly.
And also a Republican appointee to the Republican president.
A Republican appointee. I don't
right.
know if he himself is a Republican. He's long-term military person.
Excellent. So far, you're batting 100. If he were elected to a second term, this time he might do damage that would be irreparable. This is a very dangerous period we're about to enter into here.
That one I know. He and I have had some differences over the years. We tried to get him to come testify in the impeachment, and we were unsuccessful. That's Bolton, Ambassador Bolton, my fellow ambassador.
So why do you think, Ambassador, given all of those... Was he correct? Yes, I'm sorry, 100%. 100%. You get perfect score. Very good. But why do you think the majority here in this committee and in other committees want to kind of ignore those warnings from prominent Republicans, not squishy Republicans, not even sort of pseudo-Democrats, about what could happen in a second term in terms of weaponization?
Mr. Connolly, I had the honor of working with those on both sides of the dais. We haven't always agreed on the issues. Privately, we have had conversations where we agree and disagree. It would be my preference if, in addition to the important questions that we've heard today, and I have my points of agreement and disagreement, with the others who the majority has invited. Mr. Lukianoff and I were talking before the hearing about our shared orientation on regulation of AI. I would prefer, I won't guess or impugn motives, but I would prefer and I would urge publicly or privately if we could work together at least on the Insurrection Act.
Well, if I can interrupt you, we won't question motives, but we certainly will question the agenda. And that's why I began with the definition of the word projection. I yield back.